Well, here we are looking at this VTVM again. I'm using my Kodak Play Touch right now. And so I get a close-up. And of course the meter is zeroed and all that. And actually it's working fine. Where it was bouncing all around. I could never figure out why. Well, here's what I replaced. I replaced this electrolytic on it. And if you look at what it says on the electrolytic, it's really strange. Of course, it was made in the USA, but it said, look real close what it says, guaranteed for 1 year. And this was made back in 1955. Okay. And then these two 0.05 caps were pretty much gone. And just doing that, just replacing those, this thing actually works. So, there. I'll take it around here. And so that's the electrolytic I replaced right there. And the 2.05 caps I replaced with ceramic ones, or the dipped ones I should say. These two guys here. And all the rest is fine. The resistors, the precision resistors are all fine. Everything's within tolerance. There's nothing else wrong here. It was just the three capacitors. That's all it was. And I shot deoxit in all these switches. These are the adjustments for DC and AC volts and zeroing it. And then also we have the front to zero it as well. And I also replaced, well actually I tied the battery thing on because that battery box was just laying there and it wasn't solid at all. So it was just flopping all over the place. So I made sure that was solid. And that was a good enough place to do it. It's not touching anything. It's up against this metal. So it's not going to move. I used tie wraps to make sure I held the battery or box together because it was starting to flop open. And from years of use, I guess, it must have just, the fatigued plastic was starting to come apart. So I pulled it together and then I used another tie wrap to hold it to this other bracket. But it does take two 1.5 volt batteries. It's supposed to take 3 volts. And it does show that on the schematic. It does show where it's supposed to have the 3 volts in there. So yeah, I didn't know if it was or not, but yeah, I wasn't quite sure. It seemed kind of odd. Most other meters have like a 1.5 volt battery for the ohm part of the circuit for checking ohms, but this one didn't. It's just 3 volts. So anyhow, that's working, and I did replace the 6AL5 tube and another 12AU7. They were not dead, but they were kind of weak. So luckily the ones I have to replace it were strong enough that they're working pretty well now. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this back in the case. Well, let's see. Turn that on, I guess. Oop. Goes right over to ohms. Now before, I couldn't get it to go full scale at all. It would just sit there, so, and it wouldn't go all the way back. It would only go part way. But you see, it goes all the way back now. So, oops, you don't think you saw it. Hold on. I get myself all tangled up in my little tripod here. There we go. Hold on. There we go. So, yeah, and it'll measure my ohms. So, and then I checked DC and AC, and AC and DC works fine. There's no problems with this thing at all. So, it may have been made in 55, but it's still fine. Just with those 3 parts that were bad. So figure I just make this little one before I button this thing back up and put it on my bench here. So that's going to be it for now. Talk to you guys later.